Any fun facts you want to let us know? And we'll get started here in just a minute. I'm going to let a few more people enter. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for joining us from Terrell. All right, looks like we still have a few joining, so I'm going to wait just another minute or so. Good morning, Susan from Tucson, and Kevin from Algonquin. We're getting a good, it's a great geographic reach there too. I love it. We're going to have lots of good conversation and dialogue, I think. So I think we have a few more that jumped in. So for those of you who are just joining, welcome. We're so excited to have you here for our Wednesday webinar today. And feel free to use that chat feature to introduce yourself if you'd like. Also, as we go through the presentation, you can use that chat feature to ask any questions you may have. And we will get to as many of those as we can at the end. I'd also like to quickly introduce my colleague, Kim. She's on as well. You may not be able to see her right now. Oh, there she is. Hi, Kim. Sorry, I kind of surprised you with that one, but just wanted to introduce Kim because she's awesome, and she is our client services manager and works with a lot of our city and county customers to help them get the resources they need or answer questions they may have. And I know if you need anything from us, she'd be happy to connect with you. So Kim, you can drop your email maybe in the chat feature for people. So I think we've got a pretty good group in. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started and introduce Michelle, who is with the Round Rock Public Library in Round Rock, Texas, and has done some really neat things there at the library. And they have really embraced the use of technology. So I'm not going to try to steal any of her thunder, but Michelle, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Krista, and thank you to the SGR team for inviting me today. And I just wanted to share the Round Rock Library story of how we shifted gears and introduced automation. And I will share my screen now. Our story begins when Ron Hollyfield reached out to me a few months ago. He visited the library and attended a event, and one of my colleagues gave him a tour, and my colleague introduced him to our automated material handling system, which Ron seemed to be really fascinated by, and he called me and said, I need you to give a presentation on this book sorting contraption. And I thought about it, and of course, sure. And so my colleague, Geeta Halley, who was the project manager, we thought about it and we talked about how our story evolved. And what we really wanted to share with you today it's not really about the technology, but it's how the servant leadership principles that guided us to implement the automation made it successful. And so that's our story and the framework that I want to share with you today. A little bit about us. We are just north of Austin, Texas, in a suburban community, and we serve a population of about 133,000, a very diverse and growing population. We started a long time ago in 1962, so just more than about 60 years ago, our library. It was a grassroots effort. Ladies' Home Demonstration Club gathered donations. We started in a 12 by 12 built little shed on cinder blocks and plywood, and we have grown and evolved since then. Our building has changed, but what has not changed is our values. We have really stuck to trying to enrich our community through creativity and connection. We want to be the destination not only to serve your mind, but also to serve the heart of the community. And I'm sharing with you an image of our public services team, our Sunday crew, because Sundays are our busiest day. And there's a picture of Geeta Halley, the assistant director, who was the project leader for this. And she might be on the webinar today as well. So if we have questions, we can ask her too. We have more than 200,000 visitors each year. Now we have more than 47,000 people attending our programs, and we have just over 81,000 library card holders. And we are so excited because we just moved into a new building in 2023. So we'll be celebrating our 2-year anniversary in this new building in January. Our automation journey started in 2010, actually, 2010, way back, when we converted our system and put RFID tags, radio frequency tags, think of those as toll tags in all of our books. So more than 200,000 books, we manually put in those toll tags because we were preparing to install an automated self-check system, just like when you go to the grocery store and you go and check out your own groceries. It was very similar. So we had those installed. Then in 2013, we were awarded the bond for our building. $23 million were awarded to us to build a brand new modern library facility. So we took that opportunity to redesign all our processes. We moved from a 43,000 two-story building to a 66,000 three-story building. What I'm sharing with you on the screen right now is our before picture. Up on the top, we had bins where we would receive all our materials. So imagine thousands, we get more than 2,000 items returned every day. So we would have to manually take those items and then check them in and then sort them. The image on the bottom is of our new automated material handling system. Because how are we going to serve our growing community efficiently when we knew we were going to have an increase when we opened the new building in all service areas? We researched and we talked to other libraries, and we knew that we were going to see an increase of up to 30 to 40% in all service areas. So how are we going to be able to handle that? And one of the solutions that we decided to implement was the automated book handling system, which is pictured below there. The how was through this toolkit. So the 3 servant leadership principles that I want to share with you today that guided us through a successful and smooth transition that fostered collaboration with our team and an innovative, supportive work environment were empathy, awareness, and conceptualization. First, I want to talk about empathy. We weave the thread of empathy through everything that we do. We took training specifically from Ryan Dowd, who was the CEO of the largest homeless shelter in the Chicago area. He developed a training program specifically for libraries on how to serve this population. But what we discovered was that empathy, we need to use empathy to serve everyone, not just certain populations, not just certain customers, but we really needed to become sensitive to the needs and concerns and feelings of our own, of ourselves. We need to show ourselves empathy. We need to show our colleagues empathy and our patrons. So we use this is a book, and Ryan's program is actually a really effective tool because it is a web-based, self-paced series that everybody on our team, we have a subscription, and then everybody on your team can log on and watch the videos and take the assessments to learn how to be a more empathetic listener. And empathy is one of those characteristics that a servant leader really needs to have in their toolkit. Second is awareness, and we focused on self-awareness. Self-awareness to develop the ability to recognize and understand our own feelings and the behaviors and how they impact others and how we can communicate better. So we utilized this Strengths Finder training, and it's an assessment tool that uncovers your natural talents and your strengths. We wanted to focus on our strengths, not our weaknesses. And this helped us discover who on our team would have the strengths to do the training to implement this technology, to promote this technology, who were our future thinkers. What I really loved about it was everybody on the team took the training. It was facilitated by our human resources or organizational trainers. And we have an assessment, we have a chart, and it shows who has which strengths. And the book also allows us and gives us tips on how to communicate with people of different strengths and how to pair your strength with somebody else to be more effective. So this was a very helpful approach for us. Next was conceptualization. This really helped us think beyond the day-to-day and look to the future. We found harmony between our day-to-day tasks and the operations that we needed to implement for our future. We utilized the Lean Library Management by John Huber. So we met John through connections from the Tulsa Public Library because John is based in Tulsa. He brought his expertise from working with Fortune 500 companies, implementing lean operations, which lean, by the way, if you're not familiar, is a business philosophy and management approach to improve your performance. And we wanted to reduce waste, optimize our processes. We have a lot of processes, and identify our pain points. And when John came to visit us, we had a full day workshop, everybody on the team, and he helped us identify one of our greatest pain points, which was the check-in room, which was where we were receiving all the returns and where we could implement this technology. Next was implementing. We had the toolkit, we knew our strengths, now we had the budget, now how are we going to implement the automation? We identified where our needs were. First, identify the area for the automation. So again, with the help from John Huber, we identified the tasks and processes that were really prime for automation. It was the check-in room, the checkout area, and book lockers. And we were able to analyze all our workflows. We had to go through everything and identify where were the repetitive tasks and where were the tasks that could be automated. Thereby, the most important thing was to free up those most valuable resources, which are our colleagues, our team, because we want to have them working directly with our patrons instead of handling materials so much. Second was to address our employees' concerns. And again, this is where empathy is crucial. We communicated openly with our team about the challenges automation would bring, addressing their concerns about job security. We reassured them that automation was intended to augment their roles and not to replace them, and highlight the benefits that automation would bring to their jobs, especially around safety and reducing those repetitive tasks. Now, what I thought was really interesting as I was preparing for this presentation, I learned about the strike with the longshoremen. And I did a little bit of research and I found a very interesting news article that you may be familiar with. And I want to read a quote that I read. It said, quote, "We will not accept the loss of work and livelihood for our members due to automation." The association said, "Our position is clear. The preservation of jobs and historical work functions is non-negotiable." Now, in 2024, having an organization as strong as the Longshoremen that did not want to implement automation, I really couldn't believe it. This was an example of where the lack of servant leadership and the lack of an implementation strategy and the lack of tools that we had, because we couldn't do our jobs without automation, whether it be AI now or whether it be these machines that help us, we could not maintain the level of volume that we see and serve our patrons. So I really thought that was interesting. Going back to my list, I want to talk about number 3, upskill and reskill your employees. We had the luxury of time. This project took 10 years. So we had the time to train and upskill our employees, our team members. It includes technical training, but also soft skill training about how to be more creative, how to problem solve, and leadership also. And it also involved providing opportunities for our team members to transition, because if they were stronger in some areas, maybe they need to be on a different team. Maybe they need to be promoted. We need to look at all those opportunities for our colleagues. 4th is fostering a culture of learning. We're very fortunate here in the library to be an environment that encourages continuous learning and innovation. And we have access to a lot of resources for ongoing education, to knowledge sharing, and we reward initiatives in those areas and experimentation. It starts with you. It starts with me. We have to model this to our team, our colleagues, and we have to adapt those processes and be thinking about how we can be more effective. If you are not connected, I want to give you a recommendation. If you're not connected or partnering with your public library or a library in your community, this is your chance. Reach out to them. They want to partner with you. Our customers are also our internal city employees. And what you need to do is connect with your library. They have so many resources for you that will help you and your team be successful. And if you need help with that, just let me know, and I'd love to connect you with your library and your community. 5th is involving your team in the transition. From the beginning, we engaged every team member in the process to implement the automation. We solicited their feedback. They were involved in the design and the solutions, and then they provided the input for the whole process. So the people who were working with or would be working with the machines were the ones definitely doing the research, doing the hands-on training, doing all of that. It wasn't me coming in saying, "Hey guys, I think I have a cool idea to add this book handling system to your work life." It was them going through John Huber's program and then bringing to me, "We have a solution." And then it was vetted and it was validated, and that's why it was successful. Next is promoting the immediate benefits. So this process did take long, but we did focus on what immediate benefits would look like. The positive effects of the automation, such as the improved safety features, the reduced physical strain, and enhance job satisfaction. We demonstrated how the automation could make their jobs easier, safer, and the team was more open to embrace that. And then seventh was updating our hiring practices. As automation changes, technology changes, we also need to look for different skill sets. Our hiring practices needed to be updated as well. We needed to focus on those new competencies, which included seeking candidates with an open mindset and technical or the ability to adapt to technology. After all that, we're able to measure the success. We evaluated the project's overall impact. And from the beginning, we defined the project's goals, objectives to provide a baseline against what our outcomes would be. And I'm so excited to share that I just received the biannual survey and we reached a 91% satisfaction rating from our community. So kudos to our team. We increased by 8%. That was awesome. Our quantitative metrics were way over 1 million checkouts, holds fulfilled. Holds fulfilled specifically means that Missy and her team have to physically go to the shelves when a patron asks for something and go through a 3-story building, 60,000 square feet, bring those items back, have them ready for the patron to pick them up. And we were able to process 60,000 of those. We would not be able to maintain that service level if we did not have those automation systems in place. For our qualitative metrics, we're measuring accuracy, and the book sorting system is able to check in books, 24/7. And now it's time for reflection. As I mentioned, we're going into our second year, and Geeta Halley, who wanted to share this quote with you, is design your automation for growth. Adapt your automation to your customers' changing needs. Keep that in mind because we designed our system and our library building to be flexible. And we knew that technology is going to change, the needs of our community are going to change, and the check-in room is designed to add more bins to the automation system. We can move furniture around, we can reconstruct things. So keep those things in mind because it will grow. It will grow. And the lessons learned were, it was wonderful to see how our customers' experience has transformed our team's work life. We definitely streamlined processes, and the scarce resources, again, are our people. Down here, I wanted to share some pictures of some things that we're able to do now that we have the technology and redeploy those resources. We have a new seed collection. We're repairing more books in-house. And story time, we have so many more families. We see the kids bringing their kids now. And story time is all about building those relationships, and it's much more important to have our team working directly with our customers instead of having to handle those materials. What we learned was it was very beneficial to have that time for careful planning, research, and we took into consideration all the costs, upfront implementation, and ongoing costs as well. So with that, I want to try to share a video with you to recap, and you can see the automated material handling system in action, hopefully.
When we started building the new library, we learned that a simple T design is the most effective. The short distance between the outside book drop and the inside book drop really has helped workflow, and I'm so glad we did that. The automated material handling system has helped us with efficiency. Our operating capacity has increased. It didn't take extra staff to keep up with all the checkouts and check-ins. From our observations, the public are captivated by it. There's robotics inside a library. They're fascinated by it, especially young children. We have a little viewing window, and we always see little faces pressed against that window.
The self-checkout machines have been a great thing for our library. It really allows our patrons to be able to check out books faster or materials faster, in addition to having privacy, and really does allow the process to move more fluidly.
The beauty of the patron induction is its simplicity. There's no screen to navigate, no software, just drop and go. All the work is done by the sorting system. Total AMH works because it's a simple technology, but yet it's elegantly implemented.
So thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to share our automation story. You know, the journey is not over. It's just what is next. But if there's anything that I can help you with, there's my contact information. I'm happy to do so. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. Oh, my video is not working. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much for that. And what an incredible journey and all of the things that y'all put into place. So I'm going to ask first, let's look at the chat and see, because I think we got a few questions. Victoria, oh, hi, Victoria, said, I believe building and committing to skills opportunities is a strong communication that the organization wants everyone to be successful. And I think that's a great point. Susan said, I like the thoughtful preparation for employees to ensure a positive change management process. And Kevin said, great work pursuing your dreams and innovations. So a lot of positive feedback for sure. One of the things that kind of struck me and I'm curious about, and it's usually a question that comes up in some of these Wednesday webinars, Michelle, is what was the community response when you all started this project? Like, was there any pushback? Was everybody really excited about the changes being made?
The majority was positive. So of course, we have our neighbors who may not use our services. And so I always get well, do we really need libraries anymore in the future? And I've been in this business a long time, 20 plus years. I started in the business when the internet came on board and people told me, oh, we have the internet, we don't need libraries anymore. Well, I'm still here. We're still here. We still have, more than 200,000 people visiting the library. And it's all about serving the community and connecting people to resources. And I don't think that will slow down anytime soon.
That is great. And I think you're exactly right. We talked about this a little bit before the webinar, but I think sometimes there is a stigma or stereotype, or I don't even know, perception maybe associated with libraries. But when you really dive in and take a look, you see some of the incredible things libraries are doing to enhance community and bring people together. And so thanks for being a great example of that as well.
Thank you. And it was great because on our grand opening day, we had more than 7,000 people walk through our door in 4 hours. So to see those folks, that just confirmed, validated that the project was a success.
Absolutely. Wow. 7,000 people. That is, wow. That's incredible, Michelle. What about future plans? Have you all talked about anything you're planning to do in the future?
Yes, so our next big dream is we want to add a bookmobile. We have a delivery service already, which delivers materials to assisted living facilities, people who are physically not able to visit our library. We do home delivery service. So our next big dream is a more traditional large-scale bookmobile so we can pop up. And then we're also in the planning stages for a second facility, a branch in the northeast part of where our growing community is in Round Rock.
That is exciting.
Yes.
So, and I love how you're already thinking about the future too. That's
Mhm.
incredible. And of course, the use of technology is so important, and paying attention to that and seeing how that affects the operations side of things, the customer service side of things. And you all have certainly set a great example and a standard for a lot of others. And in fact, Tracy said we are in the very early stages of planning for a new library in our city. This is so exciting and reiterates that we are in the luxury of time stage instead of feeling like it is not moving as quickly as we want. Love also how you're demonstrating agility in creating perceived value for what your community needs, maybe wants. I'm gonna guess. Sorry,
Yes.
Tracy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think it cut off at the end, but I'm pretty sure that's what you meant, right? And sorry, I feel like when I'm on camera or screen or something, like trying to read, I don't know. It's like when you try to write on a whiteboard and for some reason you forget how to spell. But yeah, that's great feedback, Tracy. And I'm so glad that you joined us today. Does anybody else have any questions? And Kim, I want to ask you also, did you think of anything or have any feedback for us?
No, I just think it's really inspirational. Like you said, I think sometimes there is that perception that, libraries may be behind the times, but what I'm learning just in the short time I've been with SGR is these innovators like Michelle are just taking these libraries to the next level. And it's so awesome because it's all about the community. It's being there for our kids and our parents in the community and really building those relationships. So thank you for doing this, and it's very, very inspirational.
Excellent. Susan said, my experience is that libraries are the leaders in experimentation. Wow, I love that. I love that. So yeah, all of you who are joining us from libraries across America and maybe beyond, thank you so much for what you do and for how you give back to your communities and for being the leaders in so many ways. I think we appreciate it all as citizens or residents, but also as examples for the rest of us. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing with us today. And thank you everyone for joining. And I hope to see you again next week.